Yes, that is right. Welcome on in to the Auburn Angle with Graham McLean. I am your host, Graham McLean, and thank you so much for tuning in and listening today. Um, so I'm new here, and obviously you are too, because this is the first show of the Auburn Angle with Graham McLean, and I'm so excited and happy that you are here listening today. Um, so yeah, what is this podcast? This podcast is it's gonna be almost everything Auburn sports. We're gonna talk about Auburn football. We're gonna talk about Auburn basketball. We might even talk a little bit about Auburn baseball. I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but we'll see. Um, and we might even touch on NFL, just the rest of the college football world. We're just gonna have some fun with it. So I have been wanting to make this podcast for a long time now, and so I finally decided, like, let's do it. So we're gonna get started. And today we're just kind of a little bit a test run. We're gonna talk a little bit about Auburn football and the portal and all that stuff, and maybe touch on a little bit of basketball coming up. But yeah. So it's been a crazy couple of weeks of being an Auburn fan, and I say that because it feels like the sky is falling, and I want to tell you that it's not. We have lost a lot of players to the portals, and some pretty big notable ones too that felt like a stab in the heart. I think most notably, we've lost Malcolm Simmons and Perry Thompson, two of the Freeze Four, and we lost our starting defensive lineman Malik Blockton and starting corner Jay Crawford. Those are some losses that don't look good on paper, but I think we're going to be okay no matter what. I kind of want to touch on this portal situation and why things might be going the way that they are, and basically, let me hold on. Let me throw out a disclaimer first. Obviously, the portal does not open until January 2nd, so anything a player might intend or announce they're intending to enter the portal, that does not mean they're in the portal. The portal isn't open. So when the portal opens on January 2nd, that's when they can officially enter the portal, but they've already announced that that's their plan. So with that being said, they don't have to enter the portal. They can change their mind. Even if they enter the portal, they can come back. Nothing is 100% set in stone. So Auburn has lost a bunch of players to the portal, and I think there's a pretty big underlying reason to this. And in my opinion, this new coaching staff has come in. Obviously, Alex Golish, and he's brought his people with him, and they are now trying to decipher what players deserve what. And we were paying players what they call the suck tax, which is where we're paying these guys to be at Auburn because we weren't good, and so what was happening on the field wasn't representing what they were, what they were promised, what they were, pitched. And so we had to pay more to keep them here because it's not fun losing. I can tell you that. I mean, as someone who's played football myself, it's not fun to lose. And so paying these guys more so that they'd stay at Auburn, it made them think their market value is higher than it actually is. So now with this new coaching staff coming in, they're over here saying, like, they're watching film, game film, practice film, all over. I'm like, you haven't done anything. Like, what? And so we need, they're coming in and saying, all right, look, we got to do what's best for the program here. So you're going to have to take a pay cut. Sorry. It's just what we're going to have to do. And so a lot of these guys are like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm worth more than that. Like, obviously, the other coaching staff thought I was worth more than that. So I expect to be paid what I, am getting paid or more after this season. And so this new coaching staff is not budging. They're like, I'm sorry, we're not doing that. And so a lot of these guys are choosing to walk and go test the market and go test the transfer portal and see what else they can get and see if there's any other type of deal they can find somewhere that might be willing to pay them more than what we're willing to pay. And they might not find that. And hopefully some of these guys, understand that and then come back to Auburn, because I'd love to have some of these guys back. But, I've heard people saying that, like, these kids might feel like they're burning bridges here. And even if they don't go out and find what they want or, the deal they think they deserve, they might have thought they burned these bridges and then are going to still leave Auburn no matter what. And as a fan, I don't believe that. I mean, I would love to have Jay Crawford back. I would love to have Malik Blockton back. I'd love to have Malcolm Simmons back. Like I want that, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So that's kind of why I'm not super panicked about it, because I for one, I want to buy into this coaching staff and I want to trust them. And so I'm not super worried yet. I think they're going to make the right choices when it comes to the portal. And I want to emphasize that this right now is the season of losing. We can't gain anybody in this season. We're only going to lose. So it's going to look like the sky's falling, and that's okay. The sky might be falling. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going to get better, and this staff is prepared and is going to hit the portal hard. And I guarantee you, everyone does it now these days, but I'm sure they're already talking to players. All right. So players that have announced that they're intending. So who knows? I don't want to get into all the tampering and stuff. I don't even know what the rules are anymore. But so yeah. So I'm not super worried about the portal. It sucks that we're losing guys, but I wish them all nothing but the best. You know, we've lost guys like Ashton Daniels. We lost Jackson Arnold. Not too surprising there. Malcolm, Perry, Malik, Jay. Kayan entered recently. Xavier Chaplin entered today as the time I'm recording this. So we've lost some bigger name guys that, you know, we were paying quite a bit. And so this in itself is freeing up a little bit of money for us that we can now use in this portal and paying some of our other stars. And this kind of makes me want to transition into what's next, which is obviously you got to do whatever it takes to keep Cam Coleman. And I don't know if I'm like super, I don't think I'm super alone in this, but I've heard people saying, you know, I've heard arguments and people saying they're like, well, Cam has had some drop passes that turned into tips, and, you know, he can't, sometimes we'll just drop a ball. I'm like, doesn't every receiver? And Cam has showed me this year, I mean, even some last year, more like all these players in these interviews talk about how, oh, well, Cam in practice, like he is just making these human catches and like it's uncatchable stuff, and he's just coming down with it. I was like, all right, yeah, hyping up your teammate. I get it. Like, I'm sure. And then Cam in the season, I mean, comes out and is like, watch, I'll show you, watch me, and does it, and is making these superhero looking catches. I mean, he's unbelievable. And so I think this coaching staff understands that, and it's definitely prioritizing Cam, and it's making sure Cam gets taken care of. And so I'm not super worried about losing Cam Coleman. I think he will be at Auburn next year. I know Cam loves Auburn and wants to be at Auburn and just needs an excuse to be here. So I fully expect Cam to be on this roster next year. Now, disclaimer, anything could change. Recruiting has been crazy. Recruiting is crazy. College football is crazy. So who knows what is going to happen? But if you asked me right now, I'm confident Cam's here and stays next year. Would love to have that. Next person I want to talk about, of course, number 9, Deuce Knight. Now that's Deuce is an interesting one because I'm not 100% sure on his recruitment, and I don't have all the information about, you know, what is going on inside his camp. But from things I've seen, and I've talked to some people that, you know, are part of the program or close to the program, and Deuce does love Auburn, and I know Deuce wants to be. I'm sure Deuce wants to be here. Now, if this coaching staff and what we assume is going to go out and get a certain quarterback from the portal, who recently announced that they're intending to enter, and so if that's the case, and Auburn does end up getting this quarterback, it's assumed that he's going to be the starter here. And so for Deuce, that it comes down to if Deuce is thinking, well, I think I deserve to be the starter this year. And if I'm not, I'm leaving because I'm ready to play. Like, I'm ready to go. So it comes down to this coaching staff reaching out to Deuce, talking to Deuce and his family, and about what Deuce wants, stuff like that. Hopefully if I'm this coaching staff, I'm like telling Deuce, like, Deuce, you are this program, and we're going to pay you like it. All right. So we need you to sit one more year because this quarterback's got one more year. I need you to sit one more year. Just keep learning, keep digging, keep grinding. You know, like, you're almost there. And he redshirted last year, so he's still got what, 4 years, like this coming year, 4 years of eligibility left. So I'm not, super worried about that. So he has time to stay here, develop more, learn under someone that, could play similar to him, and we could keep him. But if Deuce is like, nah, like I'm playing, I'm ready to go, I don't know what happens there. And obviously, like, I don't think there's an SEC school right now that would take the chance on starting him like immediately, because his film isn't all there. I mean, like, yeah, he has some practice film, but that's not game environment. He has technically two game environments under his belt, but I'm not going to count Ball State because that was ridiculous, and he should never have been put in that situation in the first place. It was less than a drive or two out the door. So that leads us to Mercer, and don't get me wrong, Deuce looked unbelievable, like seriously. So I think Deuce's ceiling is unbelievably high, and I think he can play at the level of an SEC caliber team or playing against an SEC caliber defense. So I just don't think SEC schools are going to be like, oh, well, here's your Mercer game. That's good enough for us. You're going to come be our starting quarterback. And I feel like a lot of SEC programs right now have a quarterback lined up. I mean, you have Lane Kiffin right now at LSU, who has multiple options that I think he'd pick over Deuce. I think don't get me wrong, Lane wanted Deuce at Ole Miss, but he ultimately didn't get him, and now Lane's not at Ole Miss anymore. So I don't see Deuce going to Ole Miss because Lane's not there anymore. But Lane, look, you have DJ Lagway in the portal now. That's a very enticing name to go look at. You have Trinidad if he can get his next year of eligibility from the NCAA. You have Austin Simmons. I don't know what he's going to do. So the SEC quarterback carousel this year is not that impressive because you have Noah Sellers locked down at South Carolina. And so, yeah, there's a couple teams like Kentucky. You don't really know what they're going to do. Arkansas has a new coach. You don't really know what they're going to do. And I think Deuce wants to stay in a conference that's like the SEC. Now, I don't see him being in the Big Ten. I mean, I know he was committed to Notre Dame, which is a little north. I know they're not Big Ten. I think they need to be in a conference, but that's a different story. And so I think he wants to stay in the SEC. And so I think it makes sense that his best situation is at Auburn. Like, barring something crazy, you're the guy next year. Like, not this coming season, but the season after 1 year of sitting again, just keep getting better. So I think it's logical to think that Deuce stays here for the foreseeable future. And I think this coaching staff is going to prioritize him, and I think they're gonna do what it takes to keep him here. So yeah, that's just a couple of my thoughts right now. I'm gonna try to get posts up daily, get some videos up daily. But yeah, just for the future, just gonna keep talking Auburn sports, talking Auburn basketball, talking Auburn football, whatever's happening in the Auburn sports world, we're gonna talk about it. So, thank y'all so much for listening. If you stuck around, I'd love to keep y'all interested. So, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Auburn Angle. Thank you so much.